So hope my screen is visible, everyone. So first thing what you're gonna do is, so hope you guys know like what how to create a class and everything. So I have already created a class here like JDBC project. So I've already like using for the other class, so I've already created. So what you're gonna do is first you'll be creating a project. So once the project is created, what you'll do is you'll click on this, right click, then you'll go to build path. Then once the build path is done, you'll be going to config build path. Okay. So once you are into this page, you'll be clicking on class path, add external jars, and had given you the file, had sent you the file yesterday. So hope you guys have this file. So you'll be just dumping this file inside that. Zip file I have sent you. It is something like a MySQL connector 9.6.0. So you'll be just clicking open. When you click on open, it will be displaying here. Then you'll be clicking on apply and close. So this is the first step we are gonna follow in JDBC. So I want everyone to do that. So I'll be going bit slow here because this is the first, right? So few people may lag. So I'll be going bit slow. So is that clear how to upload the MySQL connector inside the JDBC, like inside the programming? So is that clear? Yes, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll be moving to JDBC architecture. So please make a note of it if you are taking a notes in parallel. So today we'll be learning JDBC, that is Java Database Connectivity. So here in architecture what we do is it is a API that allows Java program to interact with the database. It is something like think of a restaurant. Okay, so if you are taking a restaurant as an example, so Java app which you are using will be like a customer. Okay, then database database acts as a restaurant kitchen. Okay, this is where exactly you prepare some dishes. Okay, so Java app is me, so the customer. Okay, I wanted to place a order, so that the main thing happens in database. So kitchen, so that is considered as kitchen. Then comes JDBC. So JDBC acts as a waiter. So it will wait until the food has been prepared. So it will wait till that. Okay. So it is something like first customer comes. So it'll be waiter. So kitchen. So again waiter. Then customer. So first I'm a customer, so I'll be waiting. I'll go and ask waiter that I need so and so food. So for example, if I order dosa, so I'll be calling the waiter and I'll say I need a dosa. So there the waiter goes to kitchen and starts preparing dosa, or he'll ask some other person, chef or something, we need dosa. So again waiters wait for the kitchen. Okay, then once the dosa is prepared, it will come to waiter. Okay, so waiter will be will be coming and giving that dosa to me. So this is how it works. This is a real time example, like to understand I've said. So whereas it in JDBC flow, how it works is, so in JDBC flow it will be like Java application first. So first it will be Java application, then second JDBC API, then It will come like JDBC driver manager. I'll teach you what is each and everything. So let's see the structure, how it comes. So JDBC driver manager. So in this JDBC driver manager, we have three flow. One is JDBC driver, one it comes to Oracle, or we can use SQL server, or you can use any other data sources. Okay, so we can use three things here for the drivers. Okay, you can use Oracle. So we are using Oracle, and by Oracle we'll be using SQL server here. Okay, so using that SQL server we'll be doing oh, database. Okay, so component is something like, first we'll be seeing driver manager. So driver manager is something like who manages the database drivers. So for example, MySQL. Okay, so that is called driver manager. So the person who manages everything. So for example, think you have been stuck in traffic and you're very late, and your managers keeps on calling you saying that you have to do so and so work. So there will be one person who will be helping you, who will manage everything. So that is called this driver manager. For example, you can take MySQL. Okay, then comes, so these are the concepts which we'll be following and in our coding part. So first it comes driver manager, second comes the connection. So we are connecting that. Okay, so for connection of Java to database, we'll be doing connects. So here it is something like, so you'll be asking, the person will manage everything, and instead of you, he acts as a connection between you and the manager. The middle person acts as a connector. Okay, so it is something like, first manager we saw a person like he is convincing your manager saying that he's been stuck in the traffic, he'll be coming. So he acts as a connector. So it connects between Java to database. So we have something, second step called connection. Okay, then third step is like statement or prepared statement, anything you can call it. So here what we'll do will be executing the queries. So what exactly you wanted, so there will be executing queries. So it is something like the third person will be asking the manager saying that, so yes sir, in the meanwhile what and all you need, you say me, so I'll be doing this work, and I'll execute few works before connecting to, like before executing in Java. Okay, then comes the result set. So in result set what we'll do is, we'll be storing query result. So will be storing the query result. Okay, so this is called components we'll be using. There are four components. One is driver manager, connection, statement, and result set. So is that clear? Is that clear? So these are the main points we'll be following. Okay, in JDBC. So next I'll teach you step by step to connect JDBC. What and all steps we need to follow to connect with the JDBC. So is this step clear? So what are the components we required so far to JDBC and SQL? Is that clear? So do you have any doubts so far there? So is that clear?
Yes, mom.
Yeah, okay. Because I'm going slow because this is very important. If you guys don't get this, please let me know, because I'll explain it again, or else you'll be facing problems like while executing the programs. So next comes the step to connect JDBC. Yeah. So there are five steps. First, what you'll do is you'll be loading the driver. So it is something like, if you want to pick some person, okay, First, what you'll do is you need to get to know a roadmap of them. So what you'll do is first you'll take what are the components you want to carry, and you'll go and pick your friend. Then you need to create a connection. Connection is something like you will be opening your mobile phone and you will be opening your Google Maps. So that is called connection from your location to your friend's home's collection, like connection. Next, create a statement. Statement in the sense, so where exactly? For example, if you get any calls in the middle and you'll say a statement saying that to your friend, so I'm on the way, I'm particularly in this position. So where you have been creating a statement for him saying that I'm in this particular location, I'll be coming. Next, you'll be executing query. Okay. So executing query is like you wanted to reach there. So you reach there, so that after reaching, what you will do, you'll pick your friend. So once you pick your friend, what you'll do is you will close the Google Map location. So close the connection. So these are the 5 steps we'll be following in JDBC. So is that clear? Simple concept. You can take Google Maps concept and you can memorize it. So is that clear, everyone? Do you have any doubts so far? Any doubts? Okay. Okay. Now, now what you do is everyone open your SQL workbench. So this is how your SQL workbench looks. So what you're gonna do is you'll go here, click on this. So once you click, you'll get something like this. So if you can click on plus icon also, if you want, you can go there and you can do it. But we are using local instance here. So click on this icon, something like a tester or something. So just click there, click on local instance, click on local instance, then check everything. You got this one. So we are using a username root here. So click on this. While executing this, you have created one password, right? So that password you need to give it here. So when you have created something, okay, so when you have installed this, you will be giving some password, right? That password you need to enter here. Then once it is done, you will be clicking on test connection. Okay, you'll click on test connection. So it will show something like this. Yes, continue anyway. You'll be giving continue anyway. See, successfully connected. So you'll be clicking OK and you'll be clicking on close. So once it is done, you'll be getting something like this. Okay, you can click on this and continue anyway. So I've already created. So I'm getting this. If you want, you can use it again. Like once you have done, you will be getting to this one. SQL dashboard, you will be redirected to this SQL dashboard. So is the steps clear? Do you want me to repeat it again? Steps. You want me to repeat the steps again? Yes, no, yes, no. So simple.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, Shashank. So simple. Just install the thing which I've sent. Okay. Once you have installed, you will be coming to this one. You will be opening the workbench. So once you have opened the workbench, once you open your workbench, it looks something like this. Okay, this is a home page. So if you want, you can use database and connect database also, you can use it. Okay, so I have already created there, so I'm getting here. So if not, if you're doing a new user, just click on this tool icon. When you click here, you'll look something like local instance MySQL. So you'll be clicking on this. So then click on store in that, but you'll be clicking on that, and here the password which you have given in the starting while installing, you have given some password, right? That password you need to enter here. So I'll enter, I'll click on OK, and I'll give test connection. Once you give text connection, you'll get a pop-up like this, warning, continue. So I'll give successfully made the SQL connection. So this is my root and I've got everything. So you'll click on OK and close. So once you have closed, you'll get something like this. Okay, just click on that. So I have already created, so I'm getting uh, the local instance, it is showing down itself. So if not, once you have clicked OK, automatically this SQL will be opening. Okay, so automatically this SQL will be opening. So is that clear? Is that clear, everyone? Do you have any doubts? Any doubts? So should I want to repeat it again? No, yes, no, yes, no. Okay, so hope everyone got it. Then I'll come to my SQL. So I wanted to create, a database called I wanted to create a database called JDBC demo. Okay, I wanted to create a database JDBC demo. Then I'll use, so I'll be using JDBC demo. Okay, so hope you guys know what is create database JDBC. So hope you guys know SQL queries, right? So it is something like if you want to create a database, you will be saying the SQL saying that create database. So you'll be creating a database. So I created use JDBC. Then I wanted to create a table. For example, I will create a table student. Okay. Think I wanted to create a table called student. So I'll give ID integer, primary key. I'll be using primary key for ID, and name I'll be using varchar. I'll be using varchar 50. So you can use any of the thing. Then for marks, I'll be using int. So once int is done, so what I'll do is I'll close. So my SQL query is ready now. Okay, so I'll save it. If you want, you can save it, or you can leave it for the other thing. If you want, you can do it. So my SQL query is done. So I have written my SQL query now. So is SQL query correct? Clear? Everyone, is SQL query clear? Yes. Do you have any doubts there in SQL query? Do you have any doubts in SQL query? Yes, no. Is that clear? So do you want me to repeat the steps again? If you want me to repeat the steps again, please let me know. Yeah, okay. So till now we saw what is JDBC, what are the steps we'll be seeing, and we saw what is workbench, and now we'll be seeing the CRED operations. CRED operations, you guys know what is CRED operations. That is create, insert, select, delete, update, close. So these are all comes under the CRED operations. So now using this Java, will be creating a CRED operation. Okay. So here I guess everyone have done that. So right click, I've already imported this. So I'll be directly using the file name here. So I'll be creating a class here. Sorry. So I'll go new. I'll create a new class here. So for example, I'll take JDBC cred as JD, sorry, JDBC. Yeah. So I'll create a JDBC thread. I'll create finish. So now I've created my class. Okay. Inside public static void main, what I'll do is, first thing is like, first we need to make a connection of that. So we have used my this one, right? We have used SQL query, right? So now I need to make this SQL query connection. I need to make the connection of this SQL query in my code. So first I'll be using my link. This is a URL which we will be following. This is unique for everything. So here what I'll do is, I'll take my link, MySQL, JDBC, MySQL. So as we are using localhost here, so localhost 3306 slash JDBC underscore demo. So why I'm giving this JDBC underscore demo here? Because so here have created a database called JDBC demo. So that is why I'm giving a link here saying that. So I'm using my JDBC demo. So this is my URL. So JDBC, inside JDBC, I need to go to MySQL. Inside MySQL, localhost I'm using 3306. So inside that, this is my database. So I wanted to access my particular database. So I'm giving this link here. Okay. Then I'll be giving string user. So username is root. So we had a username root while creating, right? So that username I'll be giving here. Then string password. Password in the sense you have created some password while installing, right? That password you need to give here. That password you need to give here. So I have created a password Yashu123. So I have given that. So this is for accessing. So I wanted to import. So I'm using import Java SQL and I've given this. So is this step clear? So first thing, we are making a connection. For connection, I'm using a username, password and a link. So where exactly? So I'm using JDBC. So JDBC, inside JDBC, I will go to MySQL. MySQL, I'll go to localhost. In that localhost, I wanted to execute Java JDBC underscore demo. As I've given JDBC underscore demo here, so I'm using JDBC underscore demo. So is that clear? Shall I move to the next step? Next step is, I'll be using load driver. I'll be loading that inside this. So shall I move to the next step? Do you have any doubts so far here? Any
No,
doubts
ma'am,
here?
it's clear.
Yeah. Okay. So you might have that. So if you want, you can make a note of that. So I have used the database details, right? So database details, I have given a URL. First is JDBC MySQL. So this is called, protocol. Okay. Local host. So that is what I said. Local host is a server, our server. So 3306 is like my SQL port. Then JDBC underscore demo is my database. So here next I've given my database credentials here. So this is my database credentials. So JDBC MySQL. So this is our protocol. So MySQL I need to use. So this is my protocol. So this is my local host, that is server, and this is my port number. So inside that I wanted to access JDBC demo, that is my database name. Okay. So next, so I've given the credentials. Next, what I'll do is I need to load the driver. That is our first step, right? So I need to load the driver. So what I'll do is I'll come inside this. I'll create class dot for name. So I'm using class dot for name here. So you might thinking, what is this class dot for name? So here exactly where we are loading our MySQL driver into the memory. So if you wanted to store something, so if you wanted, for example, if you are studying for exam, so you will be studying. So where that memory is gonna store? So it is gonna store in your brain. So you'll read that, you'll store it in your brain, then you'll be executing in your exams, right? In the same way, for that execution, for that loading, you will be using this. So here what I'll do is com dot mysql dot cj dot jdbc dot driver. Sorry, this is D. Yeah. So this is my class name. Okay. This is my class name like I've given. So this exactly loads your data, MySQL driver, into the memory. So if you are using a latest version, this is not required. So I'm using my old version. So I'm writing, if you are using a new version, so it automatically loads. So there's no need of writing this. So I'm using my old version. So I'm writing this. If not, you can use it automatically. Like you can use this. So next what I'll do is I'll be giving my connection. So first step is like load driver. So load driver is done. I've loaded it. Now I need to create a connection. So second step is like to create a connection. So what I'll do is connection con, I'll take a surname for that. So I'll use driver manager. Driver manager is something like your Google. So here I'll be taking, as for driver connection, what I'll do is I'll be using my URL, username, password. Okay. So that is what I've given here. URL, username, password. For it is something like your Google Maps. So for Google Maps, what you'll do is first you'll take a link from your friend. Okay. That link, what you'll do is that link you'll open. Once you open, username acts as your first location and password acts as your destination there when you take your Google Maps. So here I'm using URL, username, password. So using this, I'm connecting this. Okay. So is that step clear? So this is called connection. So sorry. So connection, after connection, what I'll do is, so I'll take system.out println connected successfully. So I'll give something like connected successfully. So now this is done. So what we have done is, first this method is called, so I'll write it so you'll get it. Load driver. First we are loading the driver. Second step is like we are create connection. We are creating the connection. So now creating the connection is done. So next step what we'll be doing is create. So we'll be inserting something. So here we saw first, next create the statement. Statement is like what you wanted to execute exactly. So as we are doing CRED operation, so what I'll do is I wanted to insert few things. Insert few things in the sense I want to insert my data there. So what I'll do is insert query. So there's something called insert query. So I'll take insert query is equals to, I'll be giving the this thing, insert into. So you are giving a statement here. So where you wanted to insert. So I've created a students, right? So where is my database? Here I've created a student, right? Make sure what name you have given here. So I've created student. So I need to give a students here. Student, where's my code? Yeah. So insert student values I'm giving. Values. So inside that I'll be giving values 1. Inside that I'll give, for example, I'll give a shoe. For the name, comma, then I have marks. So I'll give marks. Done. So I've closed it. So here what I've taken is, so first I've been taken name, marks and ID. Yes or no? So for marks, for ID I've given 1. For name I've given Yashu. For marks I've given 90. Okay. So my marks is done now. So this is done. So I've given my marks. So after marks what I'll do is, so I'll give a statement st is equals to connection. I wanted to make a connection, right? So I wanted to create a statement here. So I'll give the create statement. I'll give the saying that create my statement, then s dot execute the update. So here you'll get it. So which update you wanted to take. So I wanted to update my insert query. So I'll give me execute update. So I'll be giving any of the thing. You can take any of the things. So I'm taking my SQL here. So I'll give SQL. So insert query, I've given insert query. Inside that insert query, what I wanted to update exactly you'll be giving. So here I'll say that data inserted. So is this clear? So first I'm loading this. So if you have a current version, no need to give a load this one. So next one I'm creating a connection. So I'm using for connection I'm using URL, username and password. That is what I've given here. Then I'll be creating it. So once it is connection is done, it will show connected successfully. Next I'll be giving insert. So insert into students. So students value I've given here in the workbench. So I've given student. So I've given int name. Okay, so that using that, so using that I'll be creating. Then I need to create a statement. That is our third step, right? So I need to create a statement there. So here I'm exactly creating my statement. So that is called statement st is equal to, I'm connecting that statement, create statement. Once it is created, I want it to update. So execute. So execute what I wanted to execute. This insert query I need to execute. So when it is executed, it will show data inserted. So when data is inserted, it will be reflecting back there. So is this clear? So do you have any doubts in the insertion? So do you have any doubts here? So do you have any doubts here? So you have given here. So where is that? Where is that? Yeah. So there's some error. So there's some brackets missing. So I'll just check it. So here, is this clear? So once it is done, you'll just go. So is this clear? So we have learned how to load the driver, insert it. So till create statement we have seen. So in the next class, we'll be seeing, if possible, I'll be taking class on Fridays. Friday, only this week, okay? So if possible, I'll take a class on Friday. So we'll finish it JDBC and we'll move to the next step. Hope that is clear, everyone.